Greetings everybody. This video is especially for a young lady I'm going to refer to as Dee Dee. Now Dee Dee, after you watch this video, if you don't mind others knowing that it's you and coming over to your channel, then let me know, and then what I'll do is I'll put your channel name in the title. I decided to do this video after watching your video that you post. I'm not sure if it was the last one or not. That's when I found it. And as I told you, I wasn't feeling well. I was up for that reason. But when I was watching your video, the pain I was feeling at one point, I didn't know if it was because of what I was hearing or seeing, or if it was actually because of my physical pain. And so I'm going to help you out, sister. I watch your channel all the time. I like your bubbly personality and all of that. And you and I, we get into it all the time. And what I love about you, you handle constructive criticism very well. Now, sometimes folks come to me and they think they're giving me constructive criticism, but what they're doing is insulting. There's a big difference. Okay? So what I'm doing here, after listening to your video and knowing that all the things that you're saying you want to achieve can be achieved, but you are standing in your own way of success. And so I'm pointing out some of these things, not to be critical, but for you to examine yourself and examine your approach. Okay, so I'm going to start out first to say I'm sorry about the injury you sustained with the burn. But please understand that there are no coincidences, there are no accidents. And sometimes things happen in order to bring us in alignment with what the universe wants for us and what we want for ourselves. Okay, so in the area where you got burned, that is considered or seen or known as the heart chakra. And that is the fourth, and I'm taking my notes here because I don't want to forget anything. It's so much, it's so complex. And I've listened to you before, and I can see how those things are playing out in your life. So the heart chakra, which is the area where you got burned, the primary chakra is associated with love, understanding, psychic, and spirituality. Okay? And a lot of what I see is going on with you has a lot to do with spirit, has a lot to do with spirituality or the lack thereof. So signs that the heart chakra is blocked, and I'm telling you that your heart chakra is blocked. And when it's blocked, you can't create. You can't accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in your life, because until it's unblocked, you can't create. So, you know, the signs that the heart chakra is blocked is that the wheel of energy in the body is in that area. It's concentrated in different areas of your body, but we're talking about the heart chakra here, and we're saying that it needs to be unblocked or it needs to be open because it's closed. Now I want you to look back in your life. Only you can do this, and you don't have to share that publicly. Look at your stress, look at your emotional pain, look at the programming, look at your emotion and overthinking that have blocked you. Believe me, these things seem simple, but they prevent you from creating and living your best life, experiencing success in all its forms. Okay? It's difficult for you to form or hold on to lasting relationships. And when I say relationships, I mean work, friendship, every kind of relationship you can think of. When the heart is blocked, and the place where you got hurt, injured, it's like the universe bringing your attention to that area of your body. Okay, so you have to now continue to work on yourself. And how do we do that? One of the first things you have to do, and I think you say you do that, is journaling. You see, journaling, exercise, be it the form of yoga or whatever form of exercise you choose, talk therapy. I'm doing a video. Yeah, talk therapy. And that means either professional, or if you have close knit of people that you can communicate with. But it's an ongoing process. It's not something that can be fixed overnight. Okay, so signs you need to clear your chakra. Examine what has worked for you in the past and what has not worked, whether in all your relationships, work, school, all of that stuff. What has worked? Look at the areas of your life that are successful and examine those areas. So you're asked to examine past successful situations or relationships. One of the things I'm going to say to you is that that area of your body has to do with your heart and your spirit. And if that area experiences physical injury, there's a big possibility that is also it has been subjected to spiritual and emotional kinds of injury. And you have to release certain things and people from that space before you can see what is it. What is it that's preventing you from carrying out or creating the reality that you seek? What is it that causes you to desire all these things and most of them are not materialized? So, one, let go of grudge because that reinforces the things you don't want. Release grudge from your heart. Anyone who has hurt you, no matter how deep, find a way to release them. Forgiving them doesn't mean that you have them in your life and you're going to keep them in your life. That just means that you're clearing yourself, releasing yourself of any negative vibration that's going to prevent you from gaining the life that you seek. What is preventing you from creating? That's a big question I want you to hold on in your mind. And I'm telling you that holding on to grudge keeps you from experiencing joy. So when you're thinking, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to hold these people accountable by not forgetting what they did to me, not speaking to them, hating them, sometimes you have to cut people off. But when you cut them off, you should be carrying them to your bed with you or waking up with them. They shouldn't even factor into your daily life. Trusting issues. Something tells me that you've got issues with trust, and that but we're thinking, I don't trust folks very easily. I have a problem with trusting because I've had bad experiences. But what I'm trying to say is I've now learned how to trust me, and because I trust myself, I trust my intuition, which is what you're going to have to do. Before you can create the reality you seek, you're going to have to be able to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust the process. Okay? So in order to trust, you're going to start with yourself to restore balance, because without balance, you cannot create. You're going to release the energy that promotes healing. And so that's releasing other folks, and in releasing them, you create this energy field that becomes activated within and without. That is when you trust yourself, you know how to select people who you can trust. Now, okay, let's go to this. There are some traffic jams in your life. And we call them red light, green light, okay? And we're going to point out some of these red light, green light. So just imagine that your intention or your desire to achieve certain things in your life, and you keep coming upon red light or green light. You see how some of the things might flow, but they're not flowing freely. So you ask for the things that you do not need or love. You're not aware of it, because anything you need in your life and anything you love, you create. Everything you have right now that you successfully brought into your life is things that you needed and loved, and therefore you were able to create that. So you, for example, use a language like, in the future, you hope, not I will. So the language is very, very important in what we achieve in our life, what we bring, whether it be negative or positive. In the future, you hope. No, there's no hope. There's no hope. There are times in your life you have to have this thing. There is no if, and, or but. And I'm speaking from experience that there are times, all the things I experience in my life that are successful are the things that I say, I will. Change your language. Now, you talk about having 2+ million views on YouTube and 7,000 subscribers. And there is a red light in this where you say you're grateful, but more is needed. So while you're saying is you're grateful, you cannot then attach something else that you want to that, because what it does is cancels out this. And the universe says, well, you're not grateful. You're not truly grateful, or there'll be no comparison to what you need. Just in that moment, you're thankful. So you talk about, the energy, the equipment, the lighting, the green screen. These are all physical things that you have created using money, which has no real currency. You use it to achieve these things. So, right, you're able to financially make things happen, but you're not making it happen physically or spiritually in some respects, because having a light, that is a physical thing, but you're not able to get the, I mean, when you create that vision board and at this point in the year you have not accomplished it, it's because you didn't need it. Your desire wasn't strong enough that even though you felt like you wanted this thing, it was just a want and it remained in the spiritual world. Because guess what? We're talking about spirits here. The spirit cannot give you what you don't desire. You might want it, but you have to desire it. And a true desire, that means that when you put it out there, there's no question. You've demanded it, you've declared it, you've stated it, you've walked towards it. You say YouTube is your creative outlet, and it's something that you plan to do forever as long as you're able to. And I want to let you know that YouTube is not your creative. Your creation comes from here. It comes from here. Okay, YouTube happens to be a space where your creative or your creativity can find a place to rest. It is in your mind and your heart. So the space, the YouTube space, provides release of what's in your mind and your heart. So there's a contradiction where you say, I've worked very hard. I've put all the efforts out there to create a channel that has millions of viewers. However, you contradict yourself in that, because you're saying, I have not uploaded. And further on, I have some notes here that I will quote the specific number where you say, I have not uploaded enough videos. Therefore, it's not what you need, it's what you want. You must believe in your own efforts. No one else. No one contributing to your efforts. It's you. You're the creator. You're the one. We're not Siamese twins, and even if we were, we have different brain, we have a different heart, we have different mind. So you can't rely on other folks to create for you. You have to do it for yourself, and you have to believe in it, because those who have the ability, the spirit that can grant you your wishes, if you want to call it that, they need your directive. They're going to give you instructions as well, but they need your directive, and they follow through what you desire. So if you come to my house, and let me use this example, and I offer you something to eat, this is your mind saying, I desire these things. Once your mind starts saying, I want these things, I desire these things, it's because they're available to you. That's why the universe downloads that in your mind. But you start to say, oh, I have a taste for, let's say, KFC. And you come to my house, and I say to you, okay, so you want some KFC? Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe I should have a burger. And I'm like, oh, okay, do you want a burger? Okay, I'm not even sure. Maybe I should just have some juice. You have confused me as a human being. And now, after a while, I will not ask you if you want anything to eat, because you're undecided. So you have made a schedule that you're planning to follow, because you think if you follow this schedule, it will allow you to, carry out your intention. But if the intention is not there, you could build all the schedule you want in the world, and you can put other people, give them autonomy over you or authority over you. It will not manifest. You will not keep up the schedule, because it's not a physical thing that you see, it's a spiritual thing. So your schedule prevents you from listening to the spirit within and without. If they cannot be controlled by but they can't be controlled by your itinerary. You can't control the spirit that way. You have a symbiotic relationship with the spirits. And yes, you tell them what you want, they wait for your command. But at the same time, once they give you directive and tell you what to do, if you don't follow, they're not going to force you. Okay, so you can't be controlled by something you write down that, being fit, that's a physical controlling thing. What you have to do is open yourself to hearing, seeing, feeling. Your senses, that's what leads you. As I said before, directive given to spirits, but instructions must be taken too. So that small voice that says move left or move right or do this or that, that's what you're going to have to listen, even as you have stated what you demand. And you can't just beg or ask, you have to demand. And when I say demand, not in a disrespectful way, but this is what I need, and I don't even entertain any other thought about not getting that thing. So you cannot give full access of your life to people, to anything outside of yourself except spirit. So the 30,000 subscribers that you desire in 100 days, that is possible. But there are some things that you're going to have to understand first. And here, I want to say to you that access presents movements. Joy is a currency of consciousness. So anything that you want that is going to provoke or create a certain kind of joy in you, you have to first know you're going to have to give access to the universe, access to the spirit around you to have this happen. Meditation is necessary. Connection to self is very important. You have to connect to yourself before you can connect to community or anyone else. A disconnect from body and mind and spirit leads to what is referred to as disconnected connectiveness. You have to check that out, because if I go into all of this, it's going to be way too long. The universe delivers your experience through how you feel. So if you feel sad and you feel depressed and you feel like, oh, it's never going to happen, that's what you're going to receive more of. Energy, your energy must be guarded. So you can't have certain people around you who are negative, who are going to tell you why this is not going to work out. You have to go above and stand on a limb and demand what you want. And for lack of a better word, declare what you want. When I say demand, I mean declare what you want. Okay? And if you are a Christian, Jamaica is a Christian society. There's a part in the Bible that most of you read, and you're not reading it and understand that a lot of these things are in parables so that you don't quite understand what is happening. And there's a part in there where, this man wrestled with an angel all night, and he said, I will not let you go until you bless me. So they're not telling the whole truth in the scripture. They're not telling this happened to a real person, and this is how they dealt with it. Whatever you desire in your life, you have to fight for it. You have to hold on to it. You have to struggle with it, and don't let it go until you get what you want. I have some notes over here. It says if you stop, you tell your friend that if you stop and not keep up your promise within 100 days, that he should delete your channel. Why would you give someone such a power over you? You're thinking that if you, put it out there to the public, it's going to force you to do whatever. You can't wait for other folks to act upon you that way. You can't ask other folks to hold you accountable. You hold yourself accountable for the things that you need. Okay? Someone else should not hold you accountable. So you have to remove authority from other people and place autonomy onto yourself. 3 superpower to combat anything in life: intention and feedback. What is your intention? Why do you want this thing? And what is the feedback? What is the motivation for you to have this thing? Do you just want to have this thing because society says that if you have that, you're successful? You want to have this thing because, it's a roadway or a gateway to where you ultimately want to be. Why do you want to meet Will Smith? How significant is that to you? What is he going to do for you? And how do you know you'll have that connection? So we talk about connectiveness, disconnected connectiveness. That's what you're having with that desire to meet him, unless you know why you want to meet him. You must take responsibility for those intentions. So everything you intend to do or achieve in your life, you have to take full responsibility for it. You cannot give it to anyone else. Don't matter who they are and what they're saying and how people say, well, I have to be there to help you with this because you can't do it. The moment someone else has to help you do what you need to do or what you claim you need, it's never going to happen, okay? Bring awareness to now. Forget about the fact that 2/3 of the year is gone, as you've said in your video. Now is what matters. Be aware of now and surrender. Letting go of all the reasons why you think this or that didn't happen. Let that go. It does not really matter at this point. You are a vessel to incorporeal beings. And if you're going to ask that, research it as well. But you're not composed, it's not composed. Incorporeal beings are not composed of matter. They have no material existence, but they're here. They speak to you, they whisper. You leave your house and it says, hey, if you leave this thing, when you get to this location, that's the first thing they're going to need. You go and you get that thing and you go to wherever location, whatever business you're doing, that's the first thing they ask for it. They asked for this thing because those incorporeal beings knew what you needed and instructed you. And when you went back, and if you listened, you would have seen, oh my gosh, my mind told me this. No, these are the energies around you that tell you this thing. Then there's fear. What are you afraid of? What fears do you carry? Only you can answer these questions. Do you have fear of not succeeding? If you have those fears, it'll never happen. Procrastinating, jump at it and seek the thing you need in your life. It has nothing to do with money. So you are physically able to get all the things you need to make your channel a success, or to make whatever areas of your life a success, but it hasn't been the success that you seek. Feeling anxious, feeling stressed over things you can't change is a barrier. It's a block. It's a blockage to you creating. So you got to get rid of the anxiousness and the stress, because worrying about things changes nothing except bring more of that to you. Putting yourself first means that you do the things that make you fulfilled. Don't be afraid to quit. I'm sure you've had to quit before. Anything that you've done, or you say, I'm not doing this anymore, and you survive that. So don't be afraid to quit what is not working for you. Okay. You first have to have an extraordinary faith in the universe. No questions, no I hope, I will, I shall. Okay. So you talk about, let me go into your vision board for a little bit, and then we're going to wrap this up soon. You talk about wanting to do more biking, and I'm asking you, what prevented you? Did you go to any biking events? Did you seek out any relationship with bikers? You wanted to get involved with charity. Why? And why did you not? What did you do to make sure that you align yourself with a charity? Financially free. What does that mean to be financially free? Wanted to socialize more, but you didn't. These are things that there's nothing preventing you from doing that. You just get up, you get ready, you go. If you're a clubber person or a church person or whatever it is you're into, you just go there. There's what is holding you. See, the chakra is blocked. What is preventing you from doing this? You want to gain views, but you had very little uploads. 313 videos you've uploaded, and you're falling behind 900 videos. See, this language, this internal dialogue that you're having with yourself is what's preventing you from creating. Meeting with Will Smith, as I said, what is the motivation for that? How will that bring you to where you want to be? What's your reason? And you don't have to answer all these questions. You answer them to yourself. You talk about wanting a new camera, want a new apartment, you want to read more books. What would prevent you from reading more books? There's a library where you can get free books, and if you want to purchase them, you can. So what is this that is causing you to sabotage your own efforts? Or are you asking for things that you think makes you important or make you look good in the eyes of other people? Are these things, if you truly needed these things, you would have done it. And if you need them and you're not doing them, what is the blockage? So you talk about resolution, New Year's resolution, following another person's intention, looking up to see why other people, who cares what other people do or why they didn't do it? It has nothing to do with you. You came out of your mother's womb alone, and even if you came with company, you came into this earth to create, to walk a certain path, to go through a certain journey, and it has nothing to do with anybody else. So with the 2/3 of the year gone, what is your plan? And a concrete plan. Again, I'm saying the language is something that you have to be careful of. What you say is what you create, what you think. Now the things, take that vision board that you have and cut it into pieces. I'm going to be bold enough to say, because it makes no sense. It actually isn't asking for anything, because there's no direction, there's no directive. You write down the date, you tell yourself and the universe when you want these things to happen. They all can't happen at once. As much as the universe has the ability to do all things, but you do things one at a time. One, because you write them all down that you desire, but one at a time will be achieved. You check them off as they come, and they usually come right after the other. Focus your energy on one thing at a time. So you have the whole year, you have the next 100 days. Focus your energy on the most things that are priority to you. Okay, and watch the language. You can accomplish absolutely anything. You couldn't do anything because you didn't have the mind power to create what you were asking for. So your vision board is a part of that masterpiece if you have all the elements intact. If you're cleansing and unblocking your chakra, if you're declaring and demanding and putting the things out there, putting your intention and visiting those intentions to see why they are so. You talked about your master plan or wanting to meet with a mastermind group. What stopped you? Why do you have to join somebody else's group? Why can't you start one? You say that certain things you ask for are far-fetched. It's possible, but not plausible. You've already lost. You already lost because you say it's possible but not plausible. You have to get rid of all that internal dialogue and then all those things and those words that you think make you intelligent. They're working against you. Simplify the thing. You say you wanted to travel. Now you did travel throughout Jamaica. That is still travel. Did you specifically say, I'm going to New York City, I'm going to Brooklyn, for example, I'm going here this time? Did you go to the travel agency and look at brochures at the areas where you want to travel? Did you at least start putting aside some money and say, this is for my trip? It's not some willy-nilly thing up in the air. You have to have specifics. And you move towards that you desire. I cannot say it enough on my channel. I always say it. It's proven. In a 2-month period, I was able to accomplish some amazing things. And it's because, first of all, I knew that I put my intention out there, but I also had to surrender. And I had to mind my language to know that there's no if and or but. Even with my own family, if they come to me and they start saying, oh, this is not realistic, I shun them. I start barking like a dog. I don't want to hear what you think is good or not. I know what is possible for me, and I have no choice. I have absolutely no choice. This has to happen, and it has to happen by this time. And I'm determined it's going to happen, and I'm not entertaining any other thoughts that it won't happen. Some of it, if I were to share, it's so personal that I'm not ready to share some of these things yet. But if I were to share, I think I would have motivated. Hopefully I can still, without giving all my details. But I'm trying to motivate you, D, and someone else who needs to listen to this message today as well. So you said you traveled around Jamaica, but you didn't get to travel where overseas. You didn't ask for that. That's why that didn't happen. YouTube plaque. Why do you want this? Why is it so important? Why must this happen? What have you done to make this happen? And then you talked about wanting to be a carnival ambassador, kind of somewhat. What do you think the universe is going to do with that? I wanted to be a carnival ambassador, kind of somewhat. Well, the universe is like, okay, when you decide your mind, come back to me. But I went there, but it was not official because I wasn't paid. What steps did you take? Did you go to the organization or the association that does that thing and express your interest? Did you volunteer? What did you do? So it sounds like you have all these wonderful ideas, but you're not following through because there's a blockage. So everything that you're desiring, you have not really moved towards it. You've put it on a piece of paper. It doesn't work that way. It starts in the mind. You write it down and you move towards it. I'm going to leave the video at this moment, but miracles happen every day. You see some people who sometimes get very little respect, achieve or accomplish some things in their life that you have to say, what is so special? Because they understand the process. There's a secret. There's a secret. And sometimes to those who don't have those spiritual eyes, it seems ridiculous. Didi, you can accomplish anything you want in life. You just have to understand the process. Now, if you want to speak more, you can reach me at Jenniren, JENNIRREN, @gmail.com. and I will discuss other things with you more personal. I've worked very hard in understanding myself and in creating a kind of reality for myself that I've wanted for years and see, but I didn't have the tools. I didn't understand how to do it. And I'm telling you, we're physical beings living in a spiritual realm. Until you understand that and move towards that and spend more time with that, you will always be complaining about not achieving what you desire. Stay blessed, everybody.